Hello, folks. Hello, dandelions and eggshells. Welcome to the jbostTV podcast. I am your host, jbostTV. Did I say jbost podcast? It's the jbostTV podcast. Look, I'm not good at naming things, and I went with my gut on this one, guys. I just was like, okay, I'm trying to build this brand, so let this brand continue to rule my life. I thought to open this episode, being that this is the second episode, and I can only, basically, I'm looking to do a reacting to your comments. Basically, the first time that I've ever done anything like this, but it's specifically on the previous episode of the podcast. If you aren't aware of what the first episode was, it was with my friend Jack Sexton. He's a cool guy. Just a bunch of shit. I got in trouble with iTunes. iTunes is still being a bitch because I decided to call Jack a shit poster. And iTunes doesn't like you having bad words in descriptions. And just doing that in general has, in turn, just royally fucked me in the ass. And it's just been a nightmare getting on iTunes. It will be on iTunes eventually. I am working as hard as I can, unless they get mad about the music that I use. If they get mad about that bullshit, then I might as well. Fuck it. But the podcast is available on Google, the Google Play Store. So you can subscribe on there if you're not interested in watching it. And I do also upload onto SoundCloud. So those are other means that you can, if you're more worried about listening to it than you are watching it, those are viable options. You know, if you want to listen to me while you're working out, just pull up that SoundCloud app, follow that channel. If you got Google on your phone, you just follow me on Google Play Store. And then you get notified every single time that it uploads, even if you aren't subscribed to me on YouTube. And I think that's a cool thing. So if you would like to stalk me, go ahead and do that. So for right now, I thought I'd just do some reacting to comments, specifically on this bullshit. First off, we got Free Outlaw. Not many comments, just so you know. Free Outlaw saying, God, I'm excited for this. And me too, folks, me too. Groovy444 says, oh snaps, I'm not sure I can handle 3 hours of talking. Anyway, glad you finally do what you dreamed of. Bitch, you have no idea what I'm dreaming of. And in terms of the 3 hour, just fucking deal with it. God damn. Pickle Enterprise says, get Gator on. I know you guys are friends. That is true. And he is the next episode. Namels is trying to teach me how to say anonymity. I'm not going to learn how to say that word in spite of you trying to phonetically spell it out for me. You can eat a dick. Also he says that he's sorry about that. Don't worry about the fucking podcast. I don't care, man. It's no good. It's all good. If you want, you can come on this podcast and it'll be just like the other one. It'll be fun. Good times. And Punk is in the details, which is a good friend of mine. He says, needs more cowbell. No. A Spectacular Spider-Man says to invite Mr. Swede KD. He totally didn't ask me to spread the meme. Okay, so KD, if you were listening to this, if you wanted to know why I have not specifically asked you to be on the podcast, this is me speaking to you, KD. This is man-to-man, mano-a-mano. The reason that I have not asked you on, the reason we have not yet recorded is because I am terrified because you are overseas in the time zone. I have no idea where you're at, and I'm terrified to attempt to schedule it. I am interested in having you on. When that is, I do not know. You can go ahead and message me on Twitter, your scheduled hours, and we can put it together. We can have some fun. Does that sound good? I know I shouldn't be doing it on this public forum. I should probably just message you and talk to you like a human being, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna test to see if you actually listen to this and watch this. All right, guys. So this is the second episode, and before we get into the second episode, I just wanted to talk about something that I fucking hate. Okay, so how are you? All my drivers in the world. Shout out to all my drivers in the world. All you beautiful people who spend a part of your day driving a car. Shout out to you because you are making this world a better place. I swear to God. However, sometimes in the middle of the night and I pull up to a stop sign and I know that I am not the first person at that stop sign, nor do I have the right of way. and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and the other person decides to flash their lights to say, go ahead. Now, I realize that this is supposed to be an act of kindness. Like, they are trying to be nice to me for some fuck all reason. But guess what? Follow the fucking rules. It's not about you being nice. It's about there's a list of right-of-way, and if you decide not to follow it, we have an issue because you are breaking the law. Don't flash your fucking high beams at me. Don't honk your little pussy-ass horn trying to get me to go along. Just fucking go. The amount of time that it took you to initiate this act of kindness, as you want to believe, it could have easily been taken to just go. Just fucking go. I'm looking to follow the rules. I'm not looking for you to be nice. There's a little bit of rage that I thought you could enjoy. I hate people that drive. I honestly, there's so many of them in the world, and a good majority of them are just stupid. Why do you have a flag hanging out of your trunk? Why do you have one tire that's teal? Why are you making these decisions? I don't know. But I'm sick of you. I'm sick of everything. I don't know. Let's just get into this episode. My guest today is a friend that I've known approximately the last 5 years. I'm not going to get into the actual math of it, but it's been about 5 years. And you can recognize him. He for a short portion before anybody was watching my videos, back when I was in like the 25 subscriber to 50 subscriber area, he was doing kind of like intros for a lot of my videos, because he had this idea for a character. You know, in doing a long-term YouTube channel, you kind of get these thoughts in your head like, oh, I want to do this. And you always hope that you can do that, but then, you know, shit just kind of gets in the way, because you're just kind of at the will of the environment. That's really what YouTube is. You're always just at the will of the environment and the state of YouTube in general. But he was just doing some intros, just fun little like character intros, welcoming viewers onto the channel. And he had recorded a handful, and I used a handful of them, but then it just kind of stopped for some personal reasons. But for over the last 5 years, you know, we've just been good friends, you know, talking a lot, and always planning to do big things, always wanting to do big things. And I mean, throughout this conversation, you're really going to get the origin of jbostTV, at a very basic level, just how things started and all that shit. And you know, I don't know. Kay was just a good guy. He's just a little quiet, just a little cutie. He's a little quiet cutie, and he's really nice, and he's got a big heart. And I don't really got much else to say. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I hope you stick around. First episode really kind of went way better than I was ever expecting. But you know what? At this point, I'm just rambling. And you know what? There's only one thing to say.
And the ugly girls too.
And that is... Roll the clip!
Give me my money!
Hey,
Sing it! Sing it, girls! Sing it right now! Yo, if Bemis wants to...
Well, so that's a problem with like some of my videos when I record them. They're always like the smallest bit off focus.
Really?
Like by a fucking hair. And it makes me so upset. Like so I just did this fucking Kavos video. I don't know if you watched it, but it is my most intensive video to date. And like that making that video, it physically made me sick.
How?
Like I got like a cold afterwards, and my body just hurt.
Were you like outside?
Rolling around in the sewer.
Oh god.
So my body was physically sore, and I just got sick off of it because I think I was just stressing myself out so much. Mm-hmm. But when I recorded the main bits, like the commentary bits, it was just moderately off focus, just the tiniest bit. Because it's like I'm standing, you know, when you're standing so far away from the camera, you can really only gauge how well in focus you are. Mm-hmm. And you're not supposed to be looking at the viewfinder. You know, you're supposed to look at the lens. That's what obviously I don't follow that rule because I'm really bad at everything I do.
Same.
But you know, and when I go back to edit, it's just something that drains on me. Mm-hmm. Because when you're at the editing phase, you're staring at your ugly fucking mug for, you know, hours on end, and it's not in focus. and you're just, I don't know, there's something in my head that's just like, nobody's gonna like this. Everybody's gonna be like, this pussy can't even fucking focus his camera. So like, what the fuck does he know?
Jeez.
And even worse is I'll go back and I'll put in like, I'll like have to record something because I'll like, oh, like this will work perfect. So then I'll record that. That'll be in focus and that'll be lit properly. So then what I have to do is I have to go in, I have to color correct the footage so that it looks like the rest of the footage, and then I have to put a tiny bit of a blur on it.
So it matches the rest of the fucking
video?
video?
So it's like I have to go and perfectly fuck up, these like fucking
sense, yeah.
10-second, this is bullshit. God. I don't know why I ever was just like, man, YouTube's a good fucking avenue to do shit.
Yeah, well, you're fucking way more, like, complex in the, I don't even know, like, you know way more than I do at this point, because last time I was making films was year and a half, maybe 2 years ago.
Right, on your channel.
The editing thing was kind of like Barack's deal, and now it's kind of like Barack's not really in the picture anymore, and so I'm just kind of writing scripts, and I have actors that, are like, hey, let's do this, and then I'm like, yeah, let's do this, and then nothing ever gets done because I don't have the equipment anymore or any fucking softwares, or how to use like the better softwares. But
right. Well, and
that's why I brought that documentary to you, because I was like,
right,
this is where it needs to go.
Well, and see, even at that point, like even if I were to take the raw footage now, I don't know. There's just something about it. The more that you do things, the more that you know. And that's the problem.
That's how I thought. I just haven't done it in 2 years. So I was like, man, imagine if I had been consistently doing this shit from 2016 or 2015, like where I would be now, like just editing wise and all that shit. Because I remember at the beginning of JBoss to now, it's like totally different.
Oh, it's 100. It's like,
yeah.
Well, because I started doing dumb fucking reviews. Like I was like, and that was also another mind blowing thing about that was I was making videos every single day.
Yeah, you were like, well,
what
was
your
daily catchphrase?
It's like I can't even remember.
Coming at you daily or something.
Coming almost daily. It was always almost daily, and because I don't. There was something inside of me because it's like I hit this moment in my life because that was a year ago. That was about almost a year and a half ago. I was 23 at the time. I had. I've been living this life where I've always wanted to do something creative. I've always wanted to do things and make things, but never having the confidence or, there's always just been this voice in my head that's just like, you're not fucking good enough. You're not fucking good enough.
Exactly.
And I'd make things and, half the time it was just like remember way back in the day when we were still at Walmart and I made those like... Like, just these awful videos. Like,
dude, I remember we laughed for, like, hours just in that fucking Frozen aisle.
Brown Azarello?
Yeah, that was it.
But, just, like...
Viewed comics.
And that's 4 or 5 years ago. Like, that's how long in my life I've been like, I need to make things. I need to do things. And it kind of comes to a point where you have to... Like, you just have to live within your means. Yeah. You have to do things that you have the ability to do. Because if you don't, then, like, you'll always start at zero. If you practice and practice, you will make your way to here. But if you don't try, you never will.
Yeah, because you'll never, evolve from being at zero.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll never, gain any knowledge on how to do anything.
Yeah, you'll stay
there. Fucking do it. That's what I have to do.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess we're gonna fucking touch on this now. So when you look at the grand scope of things, it's like I start like fucking 4 years ago, just making the shittiest videos off of a webcam, off of a computer, because I would. And what really inspired me was I watched a documentary that was on Netflix at the time, and it was about YouTubers, and it was them just saying like I started with nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I just had a shitty webcam, or I had this. I put my camera on a stack of books. I didn't know anything about lighting, and I just started. Yeah. And one day, I had 1 million subscribers,
Yeah, right.
And that's like, I just kept seeing this, and I'm like, no, there's no way. No way. They were better than me, Regardless, there was always somebody better than me out there. But then, I don't know. I just got to a point where I just stopped caring, I guess. I stopped caring about the stuff that I was putting out,
Right.
but only so that I could put out things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of now it's like I've kind of like rebounded on it, where it's
Mhm.
like now I care a little bit too much because I have set a standard. I have set a standard of what I am able to do.
Yeah.
And now I have to constantly meet that standard. It's like, you know, imagine if I were to upload a 2013 fucking video. Now,
Yeah.
I would probably lose a good amount of any fan base that I had, or a lot of like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
You know, like what happened to the camera? What happened to everything? I don't know. I wasn't supposed to go down there. I was supposed to go this other way. So,
But that's where we went.
I know. But I don't know. It's like, I don't know. You know this. There's just this constant desire to need to make things, but then there's always a voice in there that's just like, you're stupid, basically.
You can fucking want to make things, but I don't know if you will be able to. That's
Yeah.
what it's saying. Yeah.
And, you know, me and you, we kind of were always at this, like, same level. And one day, we watched that fucking movie, Digging Up the Marrow.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit, I don't know if it floored me, but I don't know. It gave me an idea. It gave me a foreseeable idea. I was like, this is something simple.
Yeah, that was definitely like the starting point of filmmaking.
Mhm.
Was when you watched that film and you were like, yeah, we could fucking easily do something like that.
Right, and that's the thing. And I think almost like so many directors have that moment. I mean, Kevin Smith, he watched Slackers.
Mhm.
He's like this,
Yeah.
like
Talking for 2 hours, just walking around the fucking street.
right with fucking boom mics coming in, like
Yeah.
you know these unprofessional movies that get. I mean, Slackers is Criterion Collection.
Yeah.
It is on the Criterion Collection. Like it is recognized as an important staple of filmmaking.
Mhm.
But so is all of Richard Linklater's fucking films.
Yeah.
So it's kind of gotten to this point
His
where
whole
I'm just
collection
like,
is on there, I think.
I'm just like, I don't care about him as a, like, not School of Rock though. You can't, you know, not
Oh,
School of
shit.
Rock.
They should put that one on there, #1, man.
Right, but even that is highly rated. I don't know. There's something about those filmmakers that just like make me feel shitty. Like, why you get to be so fucking good?
Mhm.
Like, Wes Anderson, I can understand because all of his movies they have aesthetic.
Yeah,
every
that's
single
all
one
it
of
is.
them.
There's a color palette, a different color palette to like every movie.
And you know, but then there's people like fucking Richard Linklater, which I haven't watched all of his.
Dude, his movies like differentiate from each other so well. Like one will be completely in rotoscope. One will be a trilogy that lasts 20 years of fucking romance.
That fucking Before or whatever.
Yeah, the sunrise and shit.
But
he just makes dope films in general.
yeah,
But,
you
like,
see these, and I'm not even like talking like these aren't like Avengers level movies. Like
Yeah.
these aren't huge blockbusters. These are movies that ostensibly you and I could make.
Did you see his latest film? Everybody Wants Them.
No, but I really want to.
Oh yeah, it's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
There's like this guy, the coolest guy in the movie. I don't remember his name, but he has like long blonde hair and a beard, and he just listens to Pink Floyd and smokes weed the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else is like, we're fucking playing baseball and we're in a fraternity, and he's just the coolest guy. And he has a cool ending too. So, but
Who did Dazed and Confused? Do you know?
yeah, Richard Linklater.
Is that Richard Linklater?
Everybody Wants Some is a spiritual sequel to it.
Okay.
It's like in the
Because that's what I was
80s.
saying. Because that's like
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey's character in that, isn't it? Just like he's like a I don't know, like a fucking.
Well, the whole movie is kind of like, it's just like a different generation, but like only in a different decade, like one decade over.
Right.
So.
Well, I was just like that. Just I don't know. Just stoner dude. Just that reminds me of Matthew McConaughey. That's all I'm saying. It
But
just
he's not
reminds
as
me.
like douchey. He's like more like peaceful hippie guy.
Right.
He's like, listen to this fucking riff real quick, and then he goes on that monologue about their like instruments, and it's like, hell yeah.
With fucking Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something. When I was younger, I really liked Pink Floyd, but like now, I'm just like.
Dude, Pink Floyd is one of my favorite bands still, man.
I only like The Wall. I think that's the only thing that I
The
can.
Wall
say.
is, I think, their best album, no doubt.
And I really like that movie. But you know who hates that movie?
Hmm.
Roger fucking Waters. The guy, the
Yeah.
lead guy of fucking fucking Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
It doesn't like follow that message, the message of the album to a T. Roger Waters is a prick though. That's kind of my whole thing with fucking Pink Floyd is Roger Waters is just a prick.
That's what a lot of people say about Flaming Lips.
Yeah.
Like, well, my dad. Well, because he's just like, it's just like, he thinks his music is like the best music of all time, and everyone should just listen to Flaming Lips.
Mm-hmm.
But like, Flaming Lips is probably my favorite band, no doubt. But I heard as a person, he could be like a Roger Waters kind of character, you know.
Well, and that I mean that happens with a lot of people. But
I don't know how Paul and Ringo are. I don't really know. Like
I don't know.
a 70-year-old, if they're like pricks or something.
I was binge watching. I've been binge watching The Simpsons because they just put them all on Vudu, and I think I bought like 10 seasons, all like 90 centric. So I've just been like losing my mind. But there's this one episode that has Paul McCartney only in the very end, and it's when Lisa turns into a vegetarian because apparently Paul McCartney is a vegetarian or something. I don't fucking know, but I don't know. He fucking like I don't know. There's like a moral lesson that Lisa's learning with fucking Apu of all people.
Yeah.
And like the Pooh's just like, do you mind if I play a song? And he's not fucking Jamaican, but you know he's eating Indian. So let me just butcher this fucking culture real quick. But he's like, do you mind if I play a song? And everybody's like, no. And like Paul McCartney and like his wife is there. His wife at the time, I don't know if they're still fucking married, but I don't get into the personal life of Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
But so you have, so they're all there, and he pulls out these like bongos, and he starts playing like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club, but he's just singing it badly because it's fucking Apu. And Paul McCartney's like animated just like dance like it's like so fucking bad. But I don't know. I could see Paul McCartney being kind of douchey,
Right.
but I don't see Ringo Starr being douchey. I guess.
I think maybe when Paul was younger, after the Beatles, he was probably maybe douchey. Maybe like even in like 2000s, maybe, but I don't know about now.
I mean, who knows? I mean,
He could be like a peaceful Beatle, you know? Who knows?
I don't. Yeah, people are fucking different. I was trying to think of there was somebody else that had come to mind when we were talking about fucking not Flaming Lips, but
Pink Floyd.
Roger Waters. Yeah, there's somebody else that's just pricky. But you know, I get a lot of my opinions of British music from Jim. You know, the guy who's from England that I know.
Yeah, dude, he's like the coolest dude ever.
And he doesn't like the Beatles, and he doesn't like, you know, and he was telling me that like in England at that time, like America loves the Beatles, and that's always how it's been. America loves the Beatles, and in England he's just like, they're just like, why? Like they didn't care. So
Or like they were just a band in their fucking country.
Yeah,
Like,
it's,
okay.
I don't know. It'd be like, you know, everybody like freaking out over. I was gonna say Nickelback, but that's not a good fucking example because I think Nickelback is just, I don't know, just overall just not liked.
Yeah. Except Jinder Mahal fucking loves him.
Except there's this woman at work. She's a very beautiful woman. Like there's, I don't know, there's something about her, but like. There's something about her where you just fucking know she's like crazy. Like there's like something off with her, but she's like so like she's like in her like 30s, but she's so beautiful. But you just know there's got to be something wrong.
Yeah.
And she has a darker complexion, but I don't want to go assuming her race. But she came in one day with like her phone playing music in her back pocket, and it was fucking photographed by Nickelback.
Look at this photo.
Exactly. And I was just like, that was super unexpected.
Oh my god.
And I said that out loud, and one of my coworkers was like, what? And I was like, well, she just came in listening to Nickelback. And this other guy comes in and was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, she just came in listening to Nickelback. And the guy was like, what's wrong with that? And I was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
You don't know? You even heard the word? Jeez.
Yeah, so to circle back.
Circle back?
Yeah.
From Nickelback.
Circle back from Nickelback. There's like, you know, there's all these people out there that are making really good movies that we could ostensibly make, but I don't even want to like try because they're so good.
Yeah, and also it's like I don't know exactly how to do what I'm doing as well as them without a crew and without a $50,000 camera or any of that shit, you know.
Right. Well, especially especially things like fucking Wes Anderson, where everything is so pristinely set and everything looks so good.
Everything's on a steady cam and it just kind of pans around. You know what I'm saying?
You know, and they're building these like, especially stuff like, like fucking
the backdrops.
The Darjeeling Limited, that opening scene where you're just going through the train cars, like just like thinking about doing those things. I think that's a little bit like ostensibly out of our range.
Well, that was actually like a little miniature train set.
Was it?
And they just filmed it up close. Like that whole opening scene is like I want to say it is.
Well, there's like scenes where it's like it's like almost like the train is cut in half, and you're seeing all of the inhabitants of the train as you're going back. I don't know is that Darjeeling Limited? I'm not sure. I just know that Darjeeling Limited.
Oh, Darjeeling Limited. I was thinking of Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh.
The beginning when they show like the big hotel and it's like out on that like giant mountain. It's like a miniature thing.
Well, that looks like a miniature thing. Like you look at that.
Okay.
I mean, even on the cover,
I was just
yeah.
a little confused. Darjeeling Limited is probably my favorite Wes Anderson film.
See,
and it's everyone's least favorite.
It's my least favorite, just because
my least favorite is everyone's favorite. Well, I don't know what yours is, but everyone always ranks Moonrise Kingdom as number 1.
I really like Moonrise Kingdom. I don't know if I would, because
I
think Grand Budapest Hotel is my number 1, because that one was really fucking good, and I love Willem Dafoe.
See, I love fucking Darjeeling Limited and then Aquatic Life.
Life Aquatic.
Yeah, Life Aquatic. Yeah.
See, and I haven't...
Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou was like the first one I saw back when it came out. I was 9 years old.
I remember it coming out, but I didn't go because that movie was rated R, so I wasn't allowed to see it.
Right.
And I've never seen it to this day. See, that's the thing. I haven't, like, in terms of Wes Anderson's career, I think I've only seen maybe half of his movies. So I've seen Darjeeling Limited, because I rented that from the library.
Okay.
On DVD. I got that from the library. And then I watched Fantastic Mr. Fox, because I have that on Criterion Collection. I watched Moonrise Kingdom when that first came out, and I loved it, because the thing I liked about that movie was it made me interested in kids. Never have I ever been like, oh, I want to watch a movie about kids.
Right. You never think that that's like going to be a cool story or anything that's going to live up to what you normally watch.
And then Grand Budapest Hotel, I watched that when that came out, which that one has to come out on Criterion Collection.
Yeah. I have all his Criterions, but I haven't bought Budapest on Blu-ray yet because I'm just waiting, and it's been since 2014.
Well, and
Boyhood's already come out on Criterion. That was the same year,
I have, I just got Grand Budapest when it came out.
Right, no doubt.
And the only ones that I have in terms of Criterion are the nice ones, which is Moonrise Kingdom and Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, the rest are just normal looking.
But so that notion is supposed to go into films being ostensibly makeable.
Bottle Rocket is a good one.
That's his first one.
Especially the 8-minute short film on YouTube that's in black and white.
Isn't that what it's based off of?
Yeah, it's just the whole film in 8 minutes without the last hour of the romance and shit.
Right.
But when I watch the short film and the movie, I'm like, yeah, that makes me want to make a movie. Not past going to Rushmore where he's got a school and shit. I'm thinking it's like the Wilson brothers walking down the street thinking about robbing a car or something. We could easily do that anywhere,
right. But yeah, so it's like you have these movies that have they've been made, and then we watch something like Digging Up the Marrow.
Yeah. Which
even that is a high production film.
Right, they got Kane Hodder.
I
guess he's friends with all.
Well, they're
these
friends,
people, but
and he's a success. And Adam Green,
still.
which is the director of Digging Up the Marrow, which Digging Up the Marrow is it's by hands down, it's one of my favorite horror films of all time.
My favorite's Frozen.
Frozen, which is still Adam Green.
I love that's my favorite Adam Green.
Oh, okay,
movie, yeah.
But it's fairly high production because they do have a decent cast, and they also have good effects, good practical effects, which
all those creatures they make.
Yeah, but I don't know. We saw it, and it's suddenly it's an idea was born, and what else had happened in that same moment? Well, see, we had purchased this camera.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I had purchased this camera because I'm trying to think of the timeline because there was something else that we had done where we were filming at night and it was raining and Torn was there, and we were walking from somewhere to somewhere and it was dark and it was raining, and we went under that bridge, and somebody, I think it was Kendon, had come up and was crawling along. And I
remember this.
I can't remember what we were filming with.
Yeah.
But
I know exactly where we were.
Yeah.
It was under this we call it the Stoner Bridge when we were in high school because there was a bunch of scary people that lived under there and homeless people, but that was that because there's all those rocks and stuff. So I don't know if we were filming with that or if we were filming with a 720 Canon or 1080 Canon that we had.
I don't know because I had my shitty little camera as well. All I know is we were filming, and I was holding one of my phones over it.
Oh yeah, for the light.
Using it as light.
Yeah.
And you could only barely make him out up here. And then he came up, and it was the scariest fucking shit we made. It was all within the same realm of making this movie, and it was just kind of building these ideas. But then what happened was I got a text from you one day, and it was so fucking cold and so it was just so
Here we go.
corporate.
Yeah.
It was, you were like, it's like, I have made a decision to start human robot films, and I will be going forward making movies with Barack, so I will not be able to partake in this project with you.
Man, I don't know why I don't remember the reason why I had to do that. Because my idea for Human Robot was to bring in all these different directors and have everybody making each other's films with everybody just making films together.
Right, and we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And like,
and
now
that's
that
still the plan. Like one day, I want a Justice League of directors.
Right,
you know?
and I'm thinking about
And
this right
screenwriters.
now. That decision that you made at that time makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
I don't know what the time period was.
I don't know. I can't remember exactly when this... I mean, it was a while ago. Because this had to have been...
I was like 20 years old.
Yeah, and this had to have been... I think it was the beginning of... I feel like it was like 2 years ago. So it's
it was like May of 2015.
Something like that.
Because we started our film in like June or something.
Yeah. Is that... I don't know. I guess I'm trying to timeline things in my head. Yeah, so I don't know. You sent me that text. I don't even know if I responded to it.
No.
Because I think I was so mad. I was so angry that I just stepped away from you for a long time. Mm-hmm. It was a long time just because I was very deeply hurt. I don't know.
I think something was going on between us probably, or between Barack. I don't know. Such a long time ago.
Right.
I wish I remembered the specific details because I remember living through that summer of starting that and then like kind of ending something else, but it was because something happened, I don't remember.
I don't know. And I feel like it makes me feel like that like I had like the last text that I had sent you was something like something involved with that project. Like, I was like, let's go do this then, or something like that. And it's like I didn't hear from you until like the next day because I remember the exact road that I was driving on when I got that text message. That's how deeply this has affected me. But everything kind of like, everything with my fucking brain is always so thin because I just remember everything. But
see, then I figured it out because we got back together
after you had made 3 projects.
Devil's Game, a Barack project, Smack, and then Cricket. And then I think we did Fight Club. And then
you had done you guys were staying pretty active on that channel. That channel is Human Robot Films, just by the way, just so you fucking know.
Yeah, I think we got at least 6.
And even
videos.
Brock had gone and done that weird thing on his own.
And then he took it down because of personal reasons, but so yeah, we got like 5 films on there. But 2 of them are like the major 25 short films.
Well, and you don't even have Devil's Game isn't even on there.
It's not?
No.
Oh, I think he took it down because of copyright issues. We weren't having any, but he was afraid we were because we used a Johnny Cash song at the end.
Well, I don't know if you look at my channel, but I use copyrighted music up the ass.
I should text Brock and tell him to bring that movie back because I think that's our most viewed film. Mm-hmm. Because like when it came out, like everybody just showed everybody,
right?
Like we knew.
And so the only thing that's going to happen if you use copyrighted material, just so you know, just like as a thing, you'll get a claim, and either depending on what that claimant decides, so whoever, whether it's the recording company or something like that, if it does get, because if it's going to get marked, it's going to get found out right away because YouTube has a content ID and it's going to find it and it's not going to take it down. It's just going to say, well, the worst that's ever happened to me is one of my videos, which is the one where I roast myself. It has a copyright strike and it only plays in America and I think 5 other countries.
Okay.
But that's the worst that's ever happened.
Right.
Because I have other ones where it's just like you can't monetize it, which is fine. You shouldn't be making money off of shit that other people make.
Yeah.
And I've always been perfectly okay with that. Mm-hmm. Copyright shit. Especially after you get them over and over and over again, it just doesn't fucking matter. yeah, so you kind of had that, we'll call that the summer of love. And it was like Christmas. I think it was right around Christmas. I don't know if I had come over to your house for like Kidman's birthday party or something. I feel like it was right there. I don't know. There was a gathering of some sort, and we were all fucking talking. And that Halloween. That
was actually my 21st birthday.
Was it your 21st birthday?
Yeah, that was in November.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, it's right around the same time.
I remember you were, because that's when you told me the idea right there.
Because I had been watching pretty profusely old Universal horror movies, because those have always been my favorite, and I just kind of reinvigorated that love. And I just had gotten this small idea of just almost making an homage to those kind of just very simple filmmaking, because that's another time where, I mean, those were big budget movies back then, but they're so simple and so easily done nowadays. And it's Do you
remember the werewolf the Wolfman when he transforms? He just sits there, and then it's like he's Wolfman. Where now it's like people fucking go to these painful transformations.
Right? Have you seen Wolf Cop?
No.
That has a weird scene where there's a camera right on his fucking penis, and his penis just like explodes out into fur. It's fucking weird. Like that's what's cool. It's like they built like almost like a skin suit that went over the fursuit that went over the guy, and then, like they break through it, and it's really fucking cool looking. Cool. But yeah, it's like satire film. So it's
I always like the idea that the wolf is inside you, so your skin rips off instead of you transforming into
a wolf. Yeah. I don't know. I think they both can be done well, and I think there's place for both.
I think American Werewolf London, when he's in the apartment. Have you seen that film?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I mean, I have, but like we're talking like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah, no doubt. But like I think that's the best one. I think another good one is The Howl, or Howling.
That's fairly recently, isn't that?
No, that came out a little after London.
Oh, did it?
Like in the 80s, yeah.
What I think I'm thinking.
The wolf comes out of the face, like it grows through.
I think I'm thinking of Howl.
Howl, yeah, that's it. No. Howl is the new one.
That's yeah.
When they're in the train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah. So old movies, practical effects, shit like that. And I think I don't know how long I was kind of like thinking about it, but I know at that party that's when I came to you, and we sat down, and it was me and Brock, and I just kind of like laid it all out, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I want this to be your first feature film for human robot films. I want this to be the project that we do together, because I think since the time that you said, nah, man, up until that point, the whole time I was just spent being envious of what you were doing. Because, going back to, me always wanting to create something and have been trying to create something for so long, that's what that was. I mean, that's where all that pain and that just anger came from. It's just, it's like, well, that fucker is younger than me. He's going to go off and do fucking whatever. And here I am still stuck where I've been.
Yeah.
So I got this idea. And from that point, it's all invested, because I think I went home. I didn't even read the script, but I went home and I started writing the script, and we wrote it and we fleshed it out, and we constantly just talking about it, and building this this idea that I had in my head, and perfectly planning out. I was going to shave my head, and
you were going to be the villain.
Exactly.
Everything. Yeah.
And I mean, it just felt so. I felt so real.
Yeah, because we had a whole script, and we would rehearse it all the time. Like me and Torrin by ourselves, we had the whole restaurant scene down.
Really?
Like we wouldn't even need the script. We would just sit in his room and just go over it all the time.
Well, and that was after because I mean originally it was like
that was after a while, yeah.
Yeah, because Barack was gonna be on, because that's I mean I was just trying. What I was doing was I was trying to fit myself into what you guys were doing, and I was like, so we'll have you guys be the lead, and everybody doing everything. That was always the idea, and that was what we were going to do. And I was trying to fit into your guys' format, so it was recognizable to anybody that on the outside that was watching. And I remember even Torrin's mom. We had gone to Torrin's house, and she had brought up human robot films, and she had turned to me and was like, well, when are you going to be in one of those things? And that was right when we had started working on Jack Mercy, which that's the name of it, by the way.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I mean that was like in the midst of the excitement, like, oh, it's coming soon.
Right.
You know, I remember I had the plan. We were gonna have it finished to possibly, like, basically have it be able to debut at Comic-Con.
Yeah, we wanted to like rent a booth and like get a screening somehow to get this film going and be like, yeah, here's just copies of it and just, you know, just get it out there.
Like it was
other than like a streaming device online, like
right.
YouTube or something.
It was a super professional thing, because it's like I wrote the script, and then from that moment, that was like right around tax season, and that's when I spent money on this camera,
mm-hmm.
and you know, I bought a shotgun mic, and I bought you know, just a bunch of shit. We bought you a hat.
Yeah,
because that was fucking important.
Got an old cap.
You know, just putting money into it, and then right around in the middle of that, that's when Barack was just like, I don't want to be an actor.
He wanted to be a cinematographer.
He wanted to be
all of it.
A one man show.
Mm-hmm.
Which, just as like, no offense to Barack, but like just as a, you know, just as being somebody who sat down and taking on every aspect of every filming anything,
mm-hmm.
it feels so much more gratifying when you have more fingers in your pot, basically.
And that was the idea for Human Robot, was for everybody to kind of be putting their touch on everything.
Mm-hmm.
So cinematography, acting, screenwriting, directing, just everybody's contributing in every way possible. So, but I don't know, maybe there is benefits to just being one position, but
I think further down the line, obviously.
Actor,
I think, because everybody's going to have their strengths somewhere.
Right, we got to start off, so we all got to do this like together, and we got to go full force.
But I think that's what it takes to make movies. If you want to make movies, if that's like your goal,
mm-hmm.
you need to have everybody 100% invested in doing everything. Because if you don't, it's just it doesn't have it's got to have that sturdy foundation to sit on, basically. So you need to have committed people, and it's hard to find committed people. And that's basically what we found throughout the production, because we didn't even get anything on film for it.
Mm-hmm.
But we were testing shots, we were planning locations, like we had this thing ready to go.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just kind of deflated.
Right.
It was like, I think it was right around, because, you know, Brock had decided that he was going to do what he was going to do. And I was just like, you know what? Fine. What about Torn? You know, what about any of your other friends? Because me personally don't have any friends. But then it's like, so once we got Torn involved, that's when it seemed like we were going somewhere again. But then I don't know, it just kind of deflated again. And it never really went anywhere after that. And here I was, having invested a couple grand.
Yeah.
You know, it was a couple $1,000 into something that I thought was going to be my life, and I was so fucking excited.
Mm-hmm.
And now I was staring at this camera that I have now. I was just staring at it. I was like, the fuck am I going to do?
Right.
Like, what can I do? And that's when I was just like, you know what? Let's do YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's just, you know, I've tried to do this off and on for like, because it would get to a point where it's like, you know, I'd make a video, I'd wait 6 months. I'd make a video, I'd wait 6 months.
Right.
You know,
it
just
wouldn't
because
be like a consistent weekly thing.
Because I had no drive to do it. You know,
had no show.
And nobody was watching it. You know, I'd put them out there. I'd maybe get like 5 views,
mm-hmm.
and that would be it. And I was, you know, it was just like there was no purpose. It was just kind of like I was just throwing stuff at the wall. I was like, I want this to work. So, you know, staring at this camera and, you know, thinking about all the things that I've wanted to do, all these creative things that I wanted to do, I just said, fuck it. Let's just fucking do it.
Just do it.
And then from there, I started editing. That's not the first thing we fucking do. But from there, I started doing it. And I made videos almost every day. Because I'd work all morning, I'd come home, I'd record, I'd edit it, I'd get it up that night.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, I would even get into a point where I could film, record, set that up to record, you know, upload the next day, and then, you know, move on. And I would just, you know, pump them up. And I was intermixing between these what I called idiot rants and just movie reviews, basically, just talking about things.
Yeah.
You know, and I think what it really did was it helped me learn. Forcing myself into this position where I was committed to things, it helped me learn, because suddenly I'm doing things like I'm what am I doing? I'm having to have a camera presence. I'm having to be in front of the camera. I'm having to, you know, think about my thoughts. And it got to a point where just saying my thoughts wasn't good enough. So then I would have to. That's when I was like, I'm going to do bad reviews. I'm going to do bad reviews of movies I love to make this more creative, because it's easy for me to speak my thoughts, but it's it's better is making up jokes on these things. And that's when I started scripting.
And that's when content came, and it was like you have like an established idea for your show.
Yeah.
And every episode, no matter what playlist it was in, it was like the aesthetic that you were going for. It wasn't just normal, this is what I think. So that's pretty cool. And
it grew into a more creative experience, and reviews lessened and lessened as they went on, and content surfaced, basically. I basically found a way to turn into the content creator that I wanted to be, even at this basic. Granted, I had a good fucking camera. Granted, I had a good camera that worked very well, but I was running on Windows Movie Maker, but I was still learning how to edit, and I wanted to do more. Like, I was like, these are the things that I want to do, but I can't. But at that point, I still had a basis of because in that time, I was doing like T-shirts are the devil or nostalgia is the devil.
Yeah.
Like, these are the videos that establish what would be the future of my content, or like I think the very first one is, I've renamed it at this point, but I think it's Moviegoers Are the Devil is what it's renamed to, but it was five moviegoers I hate.
Yeah,
that was the beginning.
I think that was I hate. I remember that one.
I think that was the beginning of what we see now, of what jbostTV OK is, because from that point it turned more into, let me talk about things that make me mad and make jokes about them. And it developed, and as I got better editing equipment, which happened, because I got a better computer, because I was editing on this piece of shit that can barely even function Audacity at this point, without fucking up. God forbid if it's fucked up this time around.
Oh jeez.
But so it got to this point where I was learning how to edit on an actual editing software, learning how to do things that I wanted to be doing. And then from there, it got to this point where I was making the videos. And I think my most recent video, The Kavos is the Devil, I think that is the staple of the things that I want to be making from this point forward. And the Friends video. I don't know if you saw that one.
I don't think so.
But that one is a more commentary based, where I'm taking stuff.
Oh yes,
from
I
everywhere.
saw the Friends one. That one was really good. The
exactly.
Animation. Yeah. Are you doing more of those?
That's what this upcoming. I'm not going to say what it is, but the thing that I mentioned earlier. That's what this is going to be. It's going to be in that kind of format, just the commentary format.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
And
that's cool.
It's just I just always want things to be better. And another problem that I had was, in the beginning of my YouTube, I was making my channel better, but I wasn't having the fan base to grant being better. I was, I had like 20 something subscribers or 50 something subscribers, and I was making videos on Premiere at that time, and I was still making videos that nobody watched.
How was Premiere?
What?
How was Premiere?
What do you mean, how is it?
Like, is that
like as an editing software?
Like compared to the one that you have now?
Premiere is what I have now.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes.
There wasn't any in between of Windows and Premiere?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and see, I stepped into Premiere in the middle part of like when I was still kind of like on again, off again. So it's like I was very familiar at what it took to cut and put in. But from watching other people's videos and just just messing around with shit that you can do, like you've witnessed me edit. I was just like, well, let's see what happens if I put this on here. Oh, it looks like that. That's funny.
And then we started just coming up with a bunch of different weird shit.
Yeah, and even to this day, like that shit that I edited into that podcast, that's shit that I've never done before.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It works. It looks nice. It's fun. It's just there's something about when you're wanting to be a content creator of any sort, if you want to be a musician, if you want to be a filmmaker, there has to be this desire that you want to go beyond what you are able to do. Because if you never desire to be better, you never will be better.
Right.
Like hands down.
I think I've grown more of a passion for strictly just making music more than films at this point.
It's easier. I don't want to say it's easier.
I know what you mean.
It is easier to make. It is easier to make music, I think,
compared
because
to a crew and filming. It is easier to, but I mean, still, like, I want to get different pedals and new, better guitars and stuff. But what I have now, it's like it works, but it's nothing to record on and sound good. You know.
I think I showed you. Have you heard of that band Harley Poe? I think I showed them to you.
Do they like make like scary music?
Kind of. It's
Or
like that.
music?
It's kind of like that. Like, and it sounds kind of like folky. It almost sounds like Violent Femmes.
Yeah, you did show me that.
They're not their most recent because they just recently got back together. But one of their most recent, their second to most recent. The entire thing was recorded on a cell phone.
Oh, okay.
So
I know Gorillaz The Fall was recorded on an iPad, but that's an okay album. I don't know. It's like the least favorite Gorillaz album.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to enough.
Oh, to compare.
Yeah, I didn't really like Humans.
That I got like halfway through Humans, but I haven't finished it.
It just doesn't. I don't know. For me, like what I remember from Gorillaz is like my childhood, like fucking kids with guns, and like that, like almost like grittiness, like that, like almost like edgy side
That
to it.
like 90s fucking, like especially their self-titled was like a 90s just chill rap, like other shit was going on, but I don't know.
Humans it's just too spacey, and you know, without
Not enough Gorillaz.
yeah, and not enough there to constitute like a good album, I guess. I don't know. But that came out a while ago, so it's like it's not like I've listened to it since then.
Right.
I was okay with that one single. The one where they go to like that house.
Yeah.
But like that's the video.
He's like All My Life, I think,
yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, I think there basically yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and that was it was
Eyes.
okay. I mean, it was okay. I'm not like, you know, but yeah, for me it's nothing like Kids with Guns, fucking Clint Eastwood. Fucking even like Oh Green World, which I love Oh Green World. But I'm also not like I'm not a Gorillaz guy. I've never like.
Have you listened to the entirety of The Plastic Beach?
No, I have not, but I've heard that's like one of their best.
That's like I think my favorite album, just from like it's a concept album, so it's easy to just start to finish. So, and what's weird is they came out with that in 2010, and then later that year, The Fall, and it's like what? You go from The Plastic Beach to literally The Fall, I guess.
Right. But it's hard. It's hard. I mean, it's hard being a creator because you do like once you get to a point where people know who you are, you have to meet those expectations.
Yeah.
And it's like different people are always going to have different expectations because I know people who love Humans. I know people who think that Humans is like one of the best things the Gorillaz has come out with. For me, it just doesn't seem like Gorillaz, I guess.
Well, let's ask Torrin because he's like huge Gorillaz fan.
Yeah.
And I don't like think he loves it, but I bet he's got a pretty good point.
I know Anthony Fantano. I think he was saying that.
Yeah. What did he say?
It felt more like because I don't know who the frontman of Gorillaz is.
I don't know his name either.
But it felt more like his solo work than it did Gorillaz. And he says that he felt like when Gorillaz come together to make something, it's like there needs to be a concept there, and Humans just kind of felt concept-less, you know, especially for something called Humans.
I think The Fall did too. I think that was that problem. Humans is a better album than The Fall, but like imagine no concept and it's just not as good as Humans.
Is it a full length or is it an EP?
It's full length, I think.
Really?
I don't think it's like 20 tracks or anything, but.
Well, full length is like what, 12?
Yeah, it's.
I don't even know what constitutes a full length.
I think Humans is like 30 tracks. It's like White Album long or something.
I don't know. Fucking, that's just hard. I don't know.
I have your CD still in my car. Me and my guitar.
Oh yeah, you made it. You made it into a CD. The only physical copy that to ever exist. I don't know, but see, Me and My Guitar, that was really coming from a place of just not caring. You know, just like not caring, doing. So in turn, I can try and learn.
Yeah.
I don't know if I learned anything from doing that though. I think it was just like for that time, and I don't know. There's people who are just like, I want you to keep doing it, you know, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can, because that came from such a lackadaisical just place, you know.
Right.
Just like let's throw this out there. Let's throw cheese at the wall and see what sticks. And you know, some people liked it. Some people found it unlistenable. But I don't know. I mean, there's people like from YouTube, from like high school that are like, I'll run into them at work or something, and they'll be like we'll just like be like, oh, how's it going? Like,
yeah.
oh, I'm going to flight school, and they'll be like, yeah, man, I'm really digging what you're doing on YouTube, and I'm just like, oh! Wait, you know? And I was like, yeah, it's great, and I'm like, why are you watching? And the specific run, he was like, I wish I had the bravery to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't think this is coming from a place of bravery. I think this is a place of shamelessness. I think it's like I've gotten to a point where you just don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and I think you need to get to that point, especially if you want to make the things that you want to make.
That's a great point, because at this point it's kind of like I'll write a script and I won't have too much motivation to be like, all right, this is what we need, because the script just doesn't like meet the standards as what it used to be, what I used to write. So I feel like if I just loosely write things now, I can just be like, yeah, let's just do it, you know. And
I think you need to do that. I think that's important. I mean, even if you're like, let's make a short film today, that it's almost like, because you know, when for writers they say that for a good writing exercise, well, basically, I mean, if you want to be a writer, write. That's always what they say. If you want to do something, do it.
Yeah.
And you know, and to give you exercises, they say, put on a 30-minute timer and just write with no distractions for 30 minutes, and eventually you'll get to a point, even if it's not good, you'll get to an idea. Right. Especially if you have writer blocks, you'll get to an idea where you are writing something good, and you might find something good out of there. And I think if you just make something, if you're just like, instead of, you know, trying to polish a script or do this, even if you go out with a premise, even if you go out with this idea like eating a bowl of cereal kind of shit, and making that kind of, trying to make it tangible and you know, emotional almost, you'll learn, and B, you'll have made something. There's something there. You can show it to your peers.
Because I feel like I've been polishing scripts since I was 15.
Well, and I don't think this is the first time that I've said this to you. I don't think, you know, and it was easier when you were making Devil's Game, because at that point you were making something.
I was making things. I had cameras, I had lights,
and it wasn't
mics.
Polished. It wasn't the greatest. You know, there's definitely some fucking mistakes in there.
We definitely had a plan to, like, all right, this is the month of June. It's June 1st. I'm going to write a script. It'll be done in a week. We'll start filming. And that's what we did. And we'd finish it and release it on June 30th. Start the next month. That was like our plan.
Exactly.
And it was like that kept me working, you know. So.
And that's another thing with going back to when I was posting things daily. When you give yourself that deadline, you work to meet that deadline. And it forces you into that, like, okay, I need to be building something kind of mentality. I think it leads you to a point where it's like you just take it seriously, because you have to, you know, it has to meet this deadline, and it has to, you know.
And if you have all the right stuff and you're actually consistently doing it, then it's like you got no problem, or you got no excuse not to finish it the way that you should.
You know, there's this idea that I've been tinkering. Have you ever watched Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Yeah.
That's some of my favorite fucking shit. Love it.
I haven't seen the Netflix show, though. I don't know.
Why would you need to?
It's
okay. I mean, it's okay. I wouldn't, you know. I know a lot of people didn't like it because I guess it's not the same. But I mean, it's fine. It's just fun watching bad movies and people make fun of them.
Yeah.
I had this idea to do an entire Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing, but make the movie and then make fun of it.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah. See. You know, and it wouldn't be like a full, like, fucking, like, make an hour-long movie, but, like, try and make, like, just a simple short film.
I kind of thought of a new, like, formula for human robots, and it's because I've been watching Black Mirror, and all these...
I heard that's really good.
All my films that have been put together have all been in the same universe, and it's the Vanilla Tone universe. And it's just this, like, fictional drug that is connected through all the characters in every film. And I was just thinking, why not just, like, make that a show, the Vanilla Tone show, and have it just be, like, 1 hour episodes instead of trying to make a 3-hour movie for every single movie. Just have hour episodes. And they all connect to each other, all based in the same universe.
Kind of like Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it'd be exactly like that, because every different episode would be, like, a different thrilling, or not thrilling, but like horrific conflict. You know?
Or even like VHS or any anthology film.
Exactly.
It's just like something that's tying all these things together. Even a simple. Have you seen XX?
Yeah. Yeah.
4 fucking female directors.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That was
oh yeah,
great.
because we need this. But not to disparage female directors, but I mean to highlight yourself as your race, your gender, your sexuality. I don't know. It makes me feel like you're less of a person. If you hold that as your identity, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? We're all humans. Like that's your identity.
Did they like promote XX as 4 female directing a horror film?
Yeah, if you look at the Blu-ray, I mean that's what it says. It's like 4 films from 4 female directors, and also XX. That is the chromosome for a female.
Yeah.
But don't say that there's more than Don't say that there's only 2 genders, because XX and XY. Science is there, boy. But on the idea of genders, I don't want to. I don't like disparage it. Like people are allowed to be whoever they want, and they're allowed to hold anything they want. But for me personally, when I'm looking at people like that, like, why is that your identity? When I go up to people, I don't say, I'm Josh, I'm white, and I'm straight. I don't say those things. Those aren't, I say, hi, I'm Josh, I dig movies. Or, hi, I work on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or, I have a small penis. Shit like that. Those are the things that I hold to my identity are, what I revolve my life around. But I guess we live in this world of identity politics where people are revolving, their identity is their political agenda, Mm-hmm. I am black and I am proud. But I guess also as a white person, we don't really have, and especially as Americans, we don't have culture like...
We don't really got anything that we can just throw out and be like, this is what I'm proud of.
I'm proud of killing a bunch of Indians,
Yeah.
I'm proud of stealing this country. But... And
I mean, maybe some people will think differently, but...
This is a tender thing to be...
discussing.
We're walking on eggshells, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, anything can be anything, but...
But I mean, that's how I view it. And when I look at somebody who is of color or is, the first thing that runs through my mind isn't, oh, that's a black person. It's, I try to base my morality on, are you a dick?
Exactly. If you're not a dick, then I can tolerate you or be cool with you.
Exactly.
But if you're a dick, it's like, I might just stay away from you or not, like,
Like, and that's I mean, that's always been my philosophy for anything. I mean, I have a fucking Discord, and like, if you go to guidelines, there's one fucking rule: don't be a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't be a dick. We're all on this fucking world that's hurtling through space at hundreds of miles per hour, and at any moment, a volcano. Have you heard about Yellowstone?
Yes.
There's worries that it's gonna fucking erupt and put us into a nuclear winter, and we're all gonna fucking die.
Dude, Torrin told me about this, and this was like a while ago, like earlier this year. Mm-hmm. And where's Yellowstone at?
I think it's in Utah, I believe.
Right.
I'm not sure.
So I was like, when he told me that, I was like, wow, it's going to be a shit show for Utah, huh? And he goes, no, dude, it's going to be a shit show for everybody.
They're saying it's going to cover up like almost half the world.
It's going to be like, the skies are they're not going to be blue anymore.
Yeah.
We're going to be like raining flakes of fucking like lava shit, and it's just, we're all going to be gone.
Nuclear winter, yeah. A good portion of the globe just gone. Mm-hmm. And I know NASA, they want to spend like a couple $1 billion to basically drill a hole into it to basically, like when you cut up, like squeeze out like shit out of a pimple. Well, that's bad. You don't want to squeeze Yellowstone, but like when they cut into a cyst and they to relieve pressure, to get some of that shit out. I know they're trying to do that, but there's all of these extraterrestrial and terrestrial threats that could end our existence like that, because it has no care. It doesn't care if we're white, if we're black, if we're in the 1% of people that have money. It's going to hit us and we are going to die. Mm-hmm. But as a culture, we have to fight about fucking corporate, like fucking internalized oppression and institutionalized racism. Like, these are the things that we're fighting about in 2017.
That is the problem.
But I don't know. Some people think that like that's what we need. We need something out of our control to happen to try and unite us. Like a giant alien ship comes down and starts fucking shit up. Because at that point, that's when you realize
humans against aliens.
Exactly.
Not humans against humans because of differences and stuff. But
I think
let's hope it comes to that.
Right. I think even on a smaller
Some
scale,
aliens.
I mean, it'd be great if the whole world could just get along and be like, oh
Yeah.
man, we're so fucking great because we're all one human culture.
Mm-hmm.
But even on like even looking at America, like there's nothing to unify us. So what we've decided to do is fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's back in the 60s, there was the threat of communism. I mean, 60s, I mean, before, but, like, from, like, the 60s on and,
Mm-hmm.
before and bullshit like that, there was this threat, this big red scare that was going on. That's more 50s, but, fucking Russia was this threat. And
That it was going to be us against Russia.
Yeah, and it unified us as a culture, and we were able to get to the moon. Mm-hmm. We were able to do all of these advancements out of competition, for the most part. But we don't have that now, so what happens is we have to, turn on our brothers and say, oh, you're white, you're a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. This is bullshit. This is a weird thing. I don't know, man.
The world's a shit show.
Yeah, it's all a shit show.
It just gets worse every day, every year.
I just wish people would just calm down.
Yeah.
Like, just stop worrying about stuff so
Right,
much.
so aggressive.
Like, go paint.
Yeah.
Like, go start painting or something.
Go make movies. Just do something.
Find something to fill your time without,
Yeah.
And now we have fucking Antifa.
Yeah.
Did you hear what Antifa did?
I heard what fucking happened to Jack Sexton.
What happened to him?
You don't know what happened to Jack Sexton?
I just know he's been doing a lot of protesting stuff. Like, he went to Virginia or something like that.
Well, I don't want to fuck up any facts, but I know that he was there when the riot happened. And he saw it. He was in the riot.
Like the Charlottesville?
Yeah.
Really?
He saw the car drive through.
Holy shit.
Debris was everywhere.
Holy shit, I want to talk to him.
Yes. He was there because he said I don't know if this is correct or not, but I think he said that the media made him and his like group of freedom fighters look like Nazis.
Yes.
Because they were fighting for free speech. They weren't fighting racial things. They were just like, we're libertarians and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they were basically like, I don't know, forced into that riot or something.
Well, I mean,
It was bad because they were in the middle of it. They weren't on either side or anything.
Right, and I don't know. I'm being ignorant about the whole thing. All I know is that like they were trying to take down a statue, a Confederate statue.
Yeah.
And the fucking white people come up with their fucking mosquito torches.
Man, I got some cool ass mosquito torches in my backyard.
Right, white lives matter kind of bullshit. White pride.
Like, fuck, man. You gotta ruin things. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what they do.
And everybody, this is America on drugs. This is America on Trump and bullshit like that. Just because, I don't know, his whole campaign was just like fed on this like hate mongering kind of shit, and that's what it just told people that it was okay.
Yeah.
Because I think I told you that the day after Trump was elected, I had a white man who's in his 40s, come into work and so fucking stoked because Hillary lost, which is fine. Hillary was a shitty opponent to be had, but he was so fucking stoked, and he was on his mental trip of the lifetime, talking about bullshit, and he starts talking to me about politics, and I'm not one to put my foot into politics because like I don't care. I don't think politics. I don't know. I've always said that it doesn't matter who's president because you're not really going to notice anything. At least from what I've seen.
Yeah.
You don't really notice a change. You'll see like gas prices go up, and then that's the kind of shit that I'm like, oh, don't raise my gas prices. That's something that affects
Trump.
me, right?
Yeah.
But he comes in and he's just talking about shit, and he's like, what's gonna make America great again? And I was like, what? And he's gonna be like, repealing the 13th and the 19th Amendment. And the 13th Amendment is the right for blacks to vote, and the 19th Amendment is the right for women to vote.
So this is like the most stereotypical fucking white dude that voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And
That's
like
bullshit.
that's what I'm saying is like you elect this person, and people are like, no, that's not the case. Closet rapists have been around forever. They're just they're just tired of this PC culture of everybody pointing fingers. Which is that's not a lie either. But it's just it's that campaign that made people say, oh, this is okay. Mm-hmm. And I think it just it might just be because I don't know if like people want to see it as like the white man beat the black man because we go from Barack Obama to President Trump.
Right.
But I mean, like, imagine if McGregor wins against Mayweather. Like, is this that same thing?
That's currently tomorrow.
Yes, I have tickets to go to a bar, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm not going over to the fucking T-Mobile Center to watch the actual fight. No, we
$600,000.
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, why?
Seats.
Why? But no, it's basically I think we paid like $45 per person.
That's awesome.
For like, and it's like all you can eat tacos at this bar.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. How are you watching the fight?
So there's like this website, allwrestling.org.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I've watched like all the Ring of Honor and New Japan, and I just like watch that, like I keep up with it, and I guess they stream UFC fights, but I've never watched them, but I bet they're gonna stream that one. So
well, but I mean, it's not even a UFC fight,
right?
It's like the biggest fight of all time.
It is,
and you know,
but I think I've seen it like promoted on there.
How do you think it's gonna go,
dude? I think like I don't know, cause like I really want McGregor to win.
Right.
You know.
Well, you're coming, I think, from a more UFC side.
Yeah. And I didn't like Mayweather when he went to WWE, but like, you know, in real life, like straight up McGregor, I just like would rather see him fucking win. Because how cool would that be? He would be the king of the fucking sport. Right. He'd be the king of all sports.
Yeah,
but like fighting, because he went to another promotion and beat the biggest guy there.
Biggest guy who is basically coming out of retirement for the third time.
This is his, yeah. And
hasn't had a fight in 2 years. Is what, like
Pacquiao.
40-something years old. There was a guy after Pacquiao. Like right after Pacquiao.
Was there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Andre something, Bretter or something like that. I don't know. I don't follow this stuff. I'm just like kind of on the outside looking in.
Right.
And I've kind of been brainwashed into wanting to see this fight. And probably I've been brainwashed into trying to enjoy UFC from now on. Yeah. Like I will probably I want to see every single pay-per-view from this point onward.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's just 'cause I've been brainwashed by, you know, this stuff in my life. And I think that's just kind of happens. You know, when you surround yourself with these people, they rub off on you. It's bound to fucking happen.
Right.
You know. Well, I guess you're not going to be, you know, you're not going to be impacted by fucking Joe Schmo. You know, like, but, you know, people you care about and people you allow in your life, I think that they're gonna rub off on you. I think it's just how it happens, you know. Mm-hmm. And you'll see it in mannerisms. You'll see it in just how you think about the world, basically.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, I don't know, just have an impact. I don't know, but I don't know. It's like,
do you think McGregor can go 12 rounds? Because he's like a 5-round at most.
What I was thinking was, there might be something in his head. Because he's coming from UFC. Mm-hmm. I was thinking like there might something. I don't know how long he's training. Obviously, I don't know anything about. I know he's been doing a lot of sparring.
Yeah. And
they just released that video where he was going against that one guy, and it made him look really good. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if like when he's up there in that ring, the lights are shining, the crowd's roaring.
Right.
Something might click in him, and he throws an elbow or he throws a knee. You know, something he's not supposed to do, because
I think he's been like solely training as a boxer.
Southpaw style.
Yeah, so he's like straight up, I think, programmed at this point to just be a boxer. But as a UFC mindset, does he just go in and try to?
Is he going for that 1-2 punch?
Right? Is he just like, we're not gonna like dance around the ring for a few rounds. I'm just gonna go in and like beat you, or is he gonna like make it a show? You know?
Right. Well, and see, that's what. I think that's one of the speculation is I think Mayweather will win in terms of points, like actual boxing, but McGregor will win in the spectacle of it. You know, like he'll be more flashy, things that he will do more flashy. But
right.
I mean, Mayweather is he's a very defensive boxer. You know, he holds up. You know, he will watch you and he will see how you move, and then a couple rounds in, as soon as he knows what you're doing, that's when he strikes.
Yeah.
But he also has brittle hands. He's also past his prime. There's a lot of these factors that make it like, it. You know, people are like, it's obvious. It's obvious that Mayweather is going to win. He has an undefeated record. Yeah, but he's 40 years old. You know, his hands, he has brittle hands. Like, this is the thing. He's been suffering with brittle hands.
Mm-hmm.
He's, you know, 2 years out, you know.
Yeah.
McGregor is 29 years old. He is young.
Prime, dude.
Yeah, he's in the prime of his career. And it's just, there's a lot of these factors that make it kind of interesting, you know, that make it. I think for the sake of boxing, I wouldn't want to see that sport tarnished in this.
Yeah, I don't want to see like UFC is like this better thing because McGregor won. I want to see like McGregor is better, or you know, not just because UFC, because he's boxing. Yeah. You know.
And I'd like to see. I don't know. I think it'd also be important for McGregor to be humbled, I guess. But I mean, the guy's been right on so many of his own predictions. You know, that's the thing. Like, he is. Like,
right, he talks all this shit.
He talks
shit. He's gonna win, and then he does.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd also like to see him humbled. But there's just there's so many things kind of going into this, and especially from me, who's only, I mean, within the last month or two has kind of been like, because I've like always been like, oh, McGregor and Mayweather are fighting. Like, that always seemed like a dream thing. Mm-hmm. Like, especially like a year ago, because I feel like they've been talking about it for a while. Yeah. It was just kind of like, oh, like, what if? Like, kind of like, you know, you're looking at King Kong versus Godzilla almost. Like, these two worlds that stand on their own. There's nothing holding them together, and suddenly they're coming together to fight each other. You know, because, I mean, Conor McGregor is, like, arguably the best UFC fighter at this point in time. Mm-hmm. You know, at least one of the best.
Pound for pound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But...
did you hear about John Jones?
I heard that he tested for something.
Positive for steroids.
Which fucking sucks. Because he just won the title, didn't he?
Yeah, it was something like he said something to DC, and he was like, no excuses now after I beat you. And then, you know, tested positive for steroids. Because last time he beat him, and he tested positive for cocaine. And then they had their rematch, and he said, what are you going to say now? And then steroids. Right.
Which is arguably worse, because I mean, like, cocaine, I don't think it's gonna, like, it's not gonna affect your muscle mass. It's just gonna, like, fucking, we're fighting. Like, it might speed you up, and then steroids, I mean, that's like directly to muscle mass. That's, you know, that's your endurance, that's your ability. Mm-hmm. But and it sucks because I didn't he say something about wanting to fight Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, like they were setting it up. Like, even in the WWE's teasing it all the time.
Really?
Yeah, at SummerSlam, it was like, if Lesnar loses the title, he will leave the WWE. And it was like, oh shit, he's gonna go fight John Jones at UFC. And there's all these articles, and there's like, this is like gonna happen, and steroids. And then it's like, well,
did they strip his title?
I don't know. I didn't look into it.
No.
That much. No.
I just know
like
he tested for something. Yeah.
I feel like didn't they do that when he did it with cocaine?
I don't know, but I follow this guy on Snapchat. His Manboy Mafia. Mm-hmm. Which I just kind of like follow him passively. I'm not like a fucking devoted fan. It's just kind of fun to watch his story. But like, he's like, John Jones is in the Manboy Mafia. Like that's his boy. Like, he sent him like specific clothing to wear for that fight and everything, and he was like behind him 100%. So like, I was coming at it from like that perspective, like, you know, like, oh, it's so exciting for him that he won. But now that it's like, you know, on steroids, it's just kind of like,
yeah, dude.
It sucks, you know, but. I don't know. I've listened to a lot of things. Like, people have been juicing like all the time.
I mean, he's a light heavyweight champion, so he takes steroids to probably beat DC. He's probably taking steroids so he can get in the heavyweight division and fight Lesnar.
That's what I was saying. Because that was the next thing I was asked. Because I don't know what division that John Jones is in.
He's one under. He's like right under.
And that's probably,
he's got to bulk up, like.
Because, you know,
get that fucking fight, you know.
I can't imagine. Because
that fight is like, it's not as big as McGregor Mayweather, but it's like, it's up there in a dream. Because it's two huge stars that have main evented or conquered their own respective division. So.
Well, Brock Lesnar is like conquered on both sides. Yeah. And I can't imagine what it would feel like to punch that guy, or to lift him up, or because he's so, I mean, he's bulk. Yeah. He is. I mean, there's a lot of muscle there. Is he very flexible? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Is he?
I think he's older now, but I mean, he used to do a shooting star press off the top rope.
Right, but he was nowhere. I mean, that was back in the day.
That's what I'm saying. Now he's older, but like, he's still pretty kind of, You know, I mean, I don't know, because all he does is suplexes.
Right.
He doesn't really do anything. He just
Right.
punches you and suplex. That's it.
Which that's got to take. I mean, he's not. I saw a guy at Walmart today, and like he had like an amount of fat, like me. Like, you know, there's like an amount of puff there, but like he was like you know, couldn't barely move, and I was like, that's just a guy that lifts weights all the time. He doesn't do stretching. He doesn't, you know, doesn't do cardio. Like
doesn't run. Yeah, no
you
cardio.
know, and that's like, why would you want to be at that point in your life? Like, why would you want to bulk up to a point where you couldn't scratch your own back or jerk off your own dick?
Why do you want to be this fucking marshmallow kid?
Like, how does this look good? You know what looks good? The fucking Rock, who is this, but can do everything, you know?
Yeah.
He's not, like, he's huge and he's jacked and he eats so much fucking food.
Oh my god. Like, how many pounds a day?
I think it's like, isn't it? I think it's
like thousands.
4,000 calories or something like that.
like
I'm not sure.
like
That's just me blind guessing. I don't know. But I know it's a lot. I know it's a grip. Like,
have you seen Rock's like new whole look?
No.
His like gray beard.
Really?
And he's covered the Brahma bull tattoo.
I know he saw, like, he got like a huge, like, more tribal looking bowl. Because I saw that
it's
post.
it's like a skull.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a skull bowl, and it's like this huge fucking arm piece.
Well, he's also working on that Rampage movie.
Oh shit, is he?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what he's playing or what. I know he's in it. That's about it.
I feel like anytime The Rock is in an action movie, he's always just like the main guy, like Arnold Schwarzenegger guy with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's T-Rex, you know, Carnage. It's
right.
Like, shit's going on. Like Jumanji, he's always just the guy, you know.
I mean, he is
the new Schwarzenegger.
100%. He has had the most successful WWE career. I mean, dude, like, going from that to serious actor.
It's crazy that he is the most like he was like one of the biggest wrestling stars of all time.
Yeah,
and he's
90s.
the highest paid actor
Mm-hmm.
of all time. Like, it's like he
and
conquered
his movies
two
aren't even
worlds.
that great. His movies aren't even that great.
Yeah,
like, they're just kind of like, I mean, they're Hollywood blockbusters.
He's just the most famous American person right now. Like, it's insane.
And he's like possibly running for president.
How much higher in the fucking world can you get?
Right.
Dude?
That was another thing about Trump winning the presidency.
Wrestling, fucking movies, president.
That was another thing about Trump winning the presidency is suddenly so many people were like, well, then I'm going to run for president.
Exactly. That Kid Rock and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
And fucking, like, Ron Perlman. And I was like, what's your legislation?
People are like, well, if he's going to do it, fuck it, man.
What's your plan to fix this economy? Please. Because Donald Trump is acting like he fixed the economy, but it's the same fucking economy that he left that Barack left, basically. It's not any better. So, what are your plans?
Yeah.
Just because Trump can do it doesn't mean you should. You know, right. This is supposed to be an example why you shouldn't be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
People, we just need to get rid of the government, and we need to reformulate it.
Wasn't Ric Flair and like Waka Flocka running?
Were they?
Yeah.
Isn't Ric Flair in the hospital? That's what I heard.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, though. I think it was, like, heart failure. I don't know, though.
You know, that's what happened with, like, fucking, like, Carrie Fisher. Like, do you remember when Carrie Fisher died? It was, like, she had a heart attack on a plane. And then it was, like, she's okay. She's okay. She's great. And then, like, the next day, dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
That's scary, man.
Why would you do that? That's worse than, like, you wake up one morning and it's like, oh, Roddy Piper. Like... Because then it's like you have to cope with it. Like you have to sit down and be like, fuck.
This is what's going on now.
This sucks. Yeah. Like one of the best, you know, one of my favorite.
Dude, he's the best.
Is gone. Mm-hmm. You know. But and then you know with something like Carrie Fisher, you're just like, Star Wars lives on.
Right. Yeah.
And it sucks.
Well, they're just gonna CGI her in all the films. So.
I mean, they've already started. I mean, look at Philip Seymour Hoffman. I mean, they did him with fucking Hunger Games.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, for that last... Because they split that last movie into 2 parts.
They did that for Paul Walker, but I haven't seen it, but I just remember it not looking too good on his face. Like, it was like a bad face scan in a game, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, you just kind of have to fucking live.
That's how it is.
You just have to accept it. And, you know, it just fucking sucks. It seems like... I don't know. Everybody's like, oh, more people are dying. Well, I mean, yeah, more people are dying.
No, it's people that we've known since we were younger are dying now. Because people that, like, were younger for other people have been dying, and that's, like, almost over, and now we're dealing with it, so...
I think it's... Well, I mean, I always, you know, the joke that I've always made is, like, it's just all these baby boomers, you know? The 50s and 60s, there was a surge in population, you know? We had just won the war, you know, shit like this. So there was, military men come home. What do? They fuck their wives. They make a shitload of babies. Those babies make successful big things. And now they're hitting their 50s and their 60s and their 70s, and they're gone. They're they're dying. They're dying.
Our generation is dealing with that, and that's why they're wondering.
But and then you have people like fucking Stan Lee who just never seems to die, and
his wife died recently, right?
Did she? I don't know. It's stuff like that. Those are the things. Like I'm trying to, because I'm very like passive about death, because most of the time it's like
I feel you. Yeah.
It's most of the time it's like people I care about, but like,
it's just what's gonna happen. But
their stuff is still
we don't have
there.
to worry about it too much right now. Personally,
like with Roddy Piper, I can still go upstairs and I can watch They Live. I can still, watch wrestling, especially with the WWE network that they have now.
Yeah.
You can still enjoy those moments, That shit's always going to be there. What really scares me is, like, what if I die? And, it's not like people are going to remember me. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the thing. Like, those are the deaths that go forgotten, are the people that haven't made anything.
Yeah.
They just move on. People like to glorify fucking celebrity deaths.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just something where I'm just like, that sucks. But no point mourning. I didn't know them.
Exactly.
It sucks. I don't know. And especially with these people that like haven't really been doing anything. Like Roddy Piper when he died, which that's tragic because he was actually fairly young, wasn't he?
I don't know how old he was.
I feel like he was in his 50s.
I think so, yeah.
But, I mean, so was Carrie Fisher. I feel like she was encroaching on 60s, though. Which, I mean, that's young, but...
Ric Flair, he's
like, what, 62?
Maybe late 60s, I don't know.
Maybe late?
Vince McMahon turned 72 yesterday.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude. He's still going.
He's still going.
Dude, me and Kendon were saying that when Vince McMahon dies, he's going to haunt every... Well, not necessarily haunt, but he's going to be there in every arena. Spiritually, Vince is gonna walk the fucking ring and shit, he's because when Vince dies that, because he's been there since the beginning, so that is the beginning of something else.
Well, that's like L. Ron Hubbard dying for Scientology, and then it's just he's ever pushed as this example, this great man. I'm afraid of Michael. What's his name?
Who?
McMahon.
Vince McMahon?
Vince.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Fucking goddamn. Yeah, so the day that Vince McMahon dies, that's scary to me.
That's the day Triple H, Stephanie, that's when other people...
Well, and it's like I've said before, back when I was actually into wrestling, I said, the day that Vince McMahon dies, that's a good day for the company, because I feel like the right stars are going to get the right exposure. Hopefully.
It's a beautiful thing to think about. But it's also very dark.
Very
to
daunting.
Think about. Exactly.
It's daunting and it's dark. It's to say that about something. Once the guy who's running it dies, it'll be great.
If Triple H is running this now, so much different things would be better.
Right.
But Vince won't retire; he'll die first. So that's the thing.
Well, that or I want Vince to go the Stan Lee route. Which Stan Lee didn't create Marvel Comics, but definitely put it on the map the way that it is now.
Just kind of be in the back and be an executive producer.
And just not even be involved in anything. Just go around.
He's not involved in NXT. Why, just let Triple H run the whole thing and then just be the guy that goes, yeah, I like what you're doing, kid.
Right. Look at me, it's Vince McMahon.
Yeah. He just shows up, he's crazy old man.
You want to do an awful bump on me?
Yeah.
That fucking Stone Cold one is one of my favorites of all time, where he just just kind of hits him and he just falls. He doesn't react. There's some really good ones that some people take, like The Rock or something, where Stone Cold will do it and he stands all the way up and then kind of does the wave and then falls. That's the spectacle. You think that, especially back then when he was kind of in his prime, Vince, you'd think he would have more of a spectacle about him.
I remember in a documentary about him, he said that he wanted to be a professional wrestler at first, but he just was not athletic at all. So,
but he's got the body.
I know, especially now.
Yeah,
but he's much older. I don't think he was this big when.
I just don't think he tried hard enough. I think if he really wanted it.
Can you imagine in the 80s, instead of seeing Vince McMahon with that yellow coat and he's interviewing Hulk Hogan, if he was a villain wrestler or a good guy wrestler, a generic whatever the fuck.
He'd probably have more respect
As a
for competitors today.
And then he would, like, you know, be the fucking owner, but a former wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And, you know, he'd probably, like, even like, if he did it, because he did it in the 90s, obviously. Like, he was the biggest heel in the 90s.
Yeah.
And you know, he fought. That was him just kind of like, I can do this now. That was kind of like what he was doing. Like, you know, I have this ability. But, you know, if he actually trained to do that, train his body, the way that he trains now.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely. I think, you know, the only wrestler that has ever started a company is Jeff Jarrett.
Who's that?
He started TNA.
Okay.
And he was a wrestler in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s.
For who?
He was in WCW and in the Attitude Era, and he always had a guitar, and he'd always just smash people's heads.
I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah, so he started TNA, but like ECW, WCW, and all these other companies, it's always been just a guy, you know, that's just been in the business somehow, or came into the business and did it. But I think Jeff Jarrett's the only one, and it's weird because that's TNA though.
Well, TNA was good, like what?
2002 was like, through 2004 was kind of their, yeah, we're kind of like WCW, so bear with us. And then 2006 came, and that's when Sting and Kurt Angle and all these, Jeff Hardy came in, you know. Jeff Hardy came in 2004, but that's when they got better stars and had like better wrestling. It was a better alternative than WWE. But then all the TNA guys went to WWE, and they've just kind of been washed up.
I mean, even at this year, I mean, Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
So, which I remember when I found out about TNA, it was just like on some channel, and I was like, there's wrestling beyond the WWE,
right?
And this was when Sting was on it. Like it was just like, what? This exists,
dude. That's exactly how my me and Kennan's story was, where we were just flipping through the channels, and then we just fucking see TNA, and we're like, oh, there's other wrestling, and then Sting. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, we fucking found him, you know, like after all this time, like he's been gone.
Right. Well, and it's like at that, you know, that was like in my Eddie Guerrero 11 days, or like my Rey Mysterio 11 days, and I was like, just to go beyond that, it was just like so strange. When did Lucha Underground start? That had to be like what, 2-3 years ago? Yeah, they're like on their 3rd, 4th season. Right. Like so that's super recently, but I like what they're doing because they take the spectacle and they make it more. Like they've upped the spectacle. Have you watched it on Netflix? I have not, but I want to. I want to sit down and kind of go through the whole thing. Dude, just go through all the seasons. It's so good. Is it? Yeah. I just like the, you know, well, it's like luchadors, which like there's always been like the secret love of luchadors in my life. Just I mean, like looking at Eddie Guerrero and fucking Rey Mysterio, like it's apparent. But that's because those were like the high flyers in the day, you know, like those were the people who were doing like crazy flips and dips and shit. Right. They were closer to what superheroes are, you know, like when you look at like, I don't know, even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like that was like the goal, was like this just crazy spectacle, you know, on top of falling off of a cell, which, God. Hell yeah, dude. Mankind. You will live forever. He's looking a lot better now that he's lost weight, and he's doing a lot more. He's not with the company, is he, right now? He was just like general manager. For like a little bit. Yeah, right? For like 2016, and then Kurt Angle came in. So, I don't know if he's with the company, but I know he was just recently like on TV with them. I don't know if he works for him, though. Probably not. Probably just has a Legends contract. Yeah, as always. I mean, he's probably going to get royalties if he's in the next game. Well, and it's fucking Noelle's doing that fucking YouTube thing. I don't think she's still doing it, though. Oh, yeah. I think it's like she did a little bit, and then like right around WrestleMania, she like did like a vlog for WrestleMania, and then she just whoop. God. Which I wish I had that kind of like commodity, like, you know, like, oh, today I'm just going to start doing this, and then you instantly have like 20,000 subscribers, you know, like instantly people are like, yeah, I support this. And then you just don't do it anymore, and you're like, cool. Yeah, but you can still live. Fucking dating that clown bitch. And then you just come back, and it's like, hey. Yeah. It's so easy, like, that's always the dream, because it's like, once you succeed in one thing, for the most part, you can succeed in whatever you want, because you've already built this fan base that appreciates you. Mm-hmm. It's just hard. That's what I've always said also, like, you know, it's like, hey, like, just go do it. And the hard part isn't doing it. The hard part is telling people you exist. Yeah. It's saying, hey, I'm over here doing stuff. Exactly. And it's I mean, it's been a battle ever since. I've gotten pretty okay at it. You know, I know what to do. Like, and that's the other problem is, like, if I wanted, I say this is a very cocky thing to say, but if I wanted, I could probably get a shitload of subscribers. If I wanted, like, I could make Jake Paul roasts, and I can make, you know, just make these videos in relation to trending topics and simply do it because I know it's gonna get views. Yeah. But there's no heart in that. You know, it's, you know, I have to have the idea and I have to be able to run with it, and I have to, you know, I have to feel like it's gonna have my stamp of approval. You know, and I'm sure there's people out there who are like, who said that? That's what. Oh, I got a coworker. He wants to be a YouTuber too, but he just does shitty vlogs.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I think you told me about him.
Yeah. You know, just kind of low effort stuff, and which is fine. It's all good and dandy. Everybody does what they want. But he's like, you should make a roast about Jake Paul. Like, you get so many views, you'd be so good at it. And I was like, yeah, but I'd be good at it. But do I want to do that? You know, and especially at that point, like, I'd be going against everything. Like, I make a video about Cavos, and I say, fuck this guy. He's just making bullshit to get views. That's all he's doing. You know, there's no creativity in the things he's doing.
Let's get right into the news.
I put a comment on one of his most recent videos. I said, you might as well rebrand your channel and just call yourself Drama Alert. If all you're going to do is talk about trending topics and react to it. Like, you might as well just rebrand yourself to be Keemstar. Please. But if I were to turn around and start doing that kind of stuff, even if it is easy, even if I know how to do it, I'd be going against who I want to be. Right. You know, I don't want people to like me for the wrong reasons, I guess. You know, the people that choose to stick around and the people that choose to watch are doing so because that's a big fucking fly, and it's fucking loud.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we were talking about before that fly. It went back to YouTube somehow.
Oh yeah, we were talking about
Oh yeah, if I'd be going against who I was as a person, you know. If I chose to make these shitty videos that everybody, you know, basically the videos that make me get views. I got this message on Snapchat from an old friend of mine. Also, I'm in the same situation. Like, she said, I like your videos sometimes.
Sometimes.
And I was like, sometimes? That's like half a compliment. Like,
yeah,
sometimes what you do is okay. Like, and they were just like, yeah, you know, it's just when you're making videos that are trying to get views, like, that's when I don't like it. And I was like, yeah, but like when you think about it, like the Cavos one, obviously a ploy to get views, and it moderately worked. I have about 300 views on it. That was me putting a shitload of effort into it. That's more than just doing something for the views. Like, A, I knew that it would get me some amount of views, and B, my primary intent was to make it entertaining and fun. Like, I was going above and beyond on this video because I think it's the right videos to kind of go above it. If you're making something that you want to try and make views, put your all into it. Make it the best thing that you can make, because you, especially when you're at like a small state in your any career, if the thing that you know is going to get you attention, wouldn't you want to put all of it into it, so that it's like, because you have to convince these people that you're worth their time. And if they're like, wow, this guy is so small on this scale,
but he's putting all this.
But he's put more work into this than anybody. Anybody I've seen. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This guy deserves it. Click.
Yep.
I mean, that's like kind of like, that's a mentality I would like to take. But obviously, like, if people are going to subscribe, they're going to subscribe. And if they're not, fuck it. I try to say that I don't care about the subscription number, but then I still send myself like checking my subscriber count every single day.
Yeah. Just
to see if it's changed. Because if it does, like, I fucking nut. You know? Like, I fucking sit there and I'm just like, oh, thank. Like, it's just like gratification. Like, you know, it's in validation. You know, it's just like, man, this person saw something.
Right.
But some people just
said, I want to see more.
Right. You know, but it's not like it, and overall, it's not like it changes the views on my videos.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like subscriber count really
They kind of just like subscribe and then casually check out or something.
Which sucks. But then I have people who are like, oh, it didn't notify me that you posted a video. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, that's how Jim is. My English friend. Like, you know, I had done the Cavos video. And I think it was like 2 weeks after it or something. He fucking sent me a text, all caps. goddamn YouTube not sending me notifications. I thought my boy jbost had quit. Blah, blah, blah. You know, just all this bullshit. And I'm just like, yeah, sorry. But it's there. Yeah, and he's talking, he's like, yeah, I hate that kind of accent that Kavos has. Like, because he's from England, so he has more of an idea of that bullshit than I do. But he's like his accent is like somebody else, and it's just annoying. It's just an annoying accent. And I was like, that's funny.
What does he sound like?
I don't know. I know he's got a lisp, like he's got a speech impediment because he is kind of lispy when he talks. I'll show you him after the podcast, but he's just, as I put in the video, he's just some cunt that says, you should watch that video. I really want you to watch that video.
I need to like catch up, man.
Do you?
You should we'll just have a marathon real quick.
Because that one, I put a lot of like good. I feel like I said, that was like, this was something that I was like, but then it's like minor things like it's slightly off, like it's slightly out of focus. Mm-hmm. It's there's all these things where I'm just like, oh, this is the worst video ever. A lot of people were mad that, not mad, I don't want to say mad, because everybody was like, oh, this is the best video I've ever done. Like, as always. Please stop sucking my dick. But, they're like, you didn't provide enough evidence. Like, you weren't like, look at this tweet of what he said. And I was like, yeah, I didn't really want to catalog this guy's fuck-ups. Like, I don't want to be that kind of person. Because I tweet some dumb shit sometimes. I don't want people, like, that's what Twitter is. Twitter is just random thoughts set at 140 characters.
And if you were to, like, do videos like H3H3 all the time, and you didn't do the things that H3H3 does, like how he goes back and looks up all on Twitter and stuff, people are going to be, like, spewing that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you're not doing it like this. So it's like, it's a good thing to not fucking do that.
Yeah.
Because
I like how H3H3 does their videos.
Yeah, H3H3 is the king of YouTube, man.
Well, and see, Kavos, they just fucking won their lawsuit.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I was going to watch it last night.
I was so fucking happy for them. I was so unbelievably happy for them.
Dude.
So fucking like, I can't even express, like, how happy that they don't have to deal with this anymore.
What was the lawsuit about again?
The Matt Haas or whatever had sued them. They made a reaction video.
Made that video of him.
They made a video, and he's like, this is defamation of character. This is a copyright thing. So he sued him, and it just and like, you watch the video, and it was on their second channel. It wasn't even an H3 official video. It was on Ethan and Hila.
Wow.
And for them to get involved in just so much bullshit over it, I felt so bad. And there was like videos where they would like update, like, yeah, the lawsuit's still going and it's just kind of draining on us because it's not really going anywhere, and then they had to get a new attorney, and it was such a long and arduous process. I couldn't imagine, especially as a creative person, having to, like, let's be funny even though we could lose our careers at any minute.
Yeah. And that's the fucking state of YouTube these days.
Well, and YouTube, it just seems to have been it just seems to have taken this like extreme turn. Like, How to Basic had posted on Twitter, all of his videos have been demonetized.
Oh, I bet.
In like one go, and it's happened to so many people. Like,
so
my
many
videos
people
aren't.
have lost all their
And I'm like, why? Why is YouTube doing this? Because this isn't an ad gate thing like it was before. This is YouTube saying, you're not allowed to make money.
Is this YouTube saying, holy shit, we shouldn't have, like, they think they're in trouble? They think they should be, like, more PC as a company?
Yeah, I don't know if it's that, like, we're in trouble. I think they're just like, let's avoid being in trouble ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's kind of, they're just, like, taking, like, just super, just extreme measures, basically. Like, somebody like Filthy Frank, I couldn't imagine what his channel looks like on the back end. Like, just, like, in terms of monetization and like how fast he gets striked. I know Colossal is crazy, which is he's kind of mid-level, but he had posted, what he had done is he uploaded the same video 4 times, but he tested it, and he didn't test it, all he did was test the thumbnail. So in one he just put like in the thumbnail he put like rape, rape, sex, bullshit like that. In another one he put like AR-15, cocaine, drugs, bullshit like that. And then he put a picture of like a puppy and then a picture of something else. And like 3 of them got demonetized instantly and the puppy one did not.
But it was the same video.
But it was the same exact video for all of them.
That's how you get away with it. That's how you can get away with it.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of, like when the AdGate thing happened. That's what a lot of people said. Like, just watch your thumbnails, watch your tags, and watch your titles. That's all you got to do.
That's what it's like FBI. Like they're just coding those keywords.
Well, eventually it's going to get to a point where they're developing an AI system where you don't have to put in tags. You don't have to put in anything. You just upload the video. The AI system automatically scans the entire thing, and it will recommend it based off of that.
Okay.
And
Is that a good thing for the future?
No.
Yeah.
Not if they're gonna abuse it, because they'll be like, if they say ass, then the lowest scale of bad words. If they say ass, demonetize. That's the kind of thing that's what I see them using it for in this kind of politically correct world that we're kind of veering towards, because they want it to be family friendly. It's not it's not like they don't have fucking YouTube Kids. They don't have an app that is specifically...
Right, you can't just switch over like a Netflix or something.
Yeah, it's like, if you want to be taken as a serious platform, you need to have adult content. You need to have all content for all people.
Everything.
Regardless. Yeah, exactly. Netflix has everything. Netflix, they rate people in those shows, in their Netflix originals.
Yeah, Shameless is porn, essentially. There's 7 seasons of porn on Netflix.
Exactly. And, well, that's not a Netflix show. So I was trying to, like what Netflix is deciding to, produce. But still.
Oh, Netflix originals?
Yes. Just because that's what they have control over.
They got some pretty fucked up shows, too.
Exactly.
Some inmate shows. Like, have you seen Ozark?
No.
Jason Bateman?
No. I really want to, but it looks...
First scene, he's behind a desk. He's talking to these clients. He's just watching porn on his computer while they're talking. He's not even listening.
Do you see full penetration?
No, it's just you actually don't really see. It's actually weird because it's just this old dude and you just see him and there's just a chick in front of him.
Oh.
But it's it's weird,
Well, that was because I watched Antichrist.
I feel like that show will progressively get worse because it's supposed to be a horrific Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I'm
that's
sure
what it's
they'll put some sketchy shit.
I watched Antichrist.
I fucking love Antichrist.
It's such a good movie.
Oh my god!
But within the first fucking minute, you see full penetration.
Yeah, that movie is fucking insane.
You see full penetration. It obviously, that was through IFC Films. I didn't see it go to theaters or anything like that. But that's a Criterion Collection film. But I don't think that content has never been a thing that has been in the way of Criterion. Because have you ever watched Salo?
I have that on Criterion.
Yeah, that's another one. I watched
Salo
that.
and Antichrist, man.
I watched that years and years ago. And that's French aristocrats buying these children and then making them fuck and scooping out their eyeballs.
It's insanely fucked up, man.
Yeah. I watched Salo so long ago because there was a time in my life where I was like, man, I want to be offended. I want to find out what it's like to be offended.
The director was stabbed to death after that movie came out?
No, I think I knew that sounds familiar. So I think, yeah. But Antichrist is actually a good movie. I don't want to sit down and watch Salo again. I'm not really. But Antichrist, it's an artistic film. It's a beautiful film. It's done so well.
The slow motion with the animals and they're talking about chaos.
Yeah.
Jesus.
She's jerking him off.
Oh, I hate that scene. Oh, no. Oh, my God.
That's a good movie, though. I fucking love that movie.
I feel bad for the goblin.
But, that apparently that was a dick double.
Yeah, because
Willem Dafoe is so scaringly huge.
Oh, is that what's wrong with it?
Yeah. It's so nightmarishly big.
I thought, it was, horrific to, look at.
What? Willem Dafoe's penis?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. It was too... freakish to look at.
I heard it was too freakishly big. That's what Lars von Trier said. It was nightmarishly big.
Jesus. They don't want to use it.
That's a beautiful opening scene, though. Just that crisp black and white. And it's high contrast. That's an artistic film. And that's that was good. I sought that out for Criterion because I was that was something that I needed to watch. I needed to experience. Because I don't want to say I've been super picky about Criterion, but I've just been trying to
get the good ones. Yeah.
And I've kind of gotten it down to this almost formula where it's I get a movie I've seen, I get a movie I'm interested in.
Yeah, exactly.
So then it's your bank. It's I like this movie, and then it's I've always wanted to see. I don't know. There's a couple of them out there, specifically Criterion.
Seen Hunger?
No, but that's on the interested list.
That's a good one.
But I mean, that's got that 60-minute film, and that's like I just got a Naked Lunch.
Oh shit! Have you seen Naked?
No.
Yeah, that's. I don't know the guy's name, but I recommend that one.
Yeah.
That's like this guy, and he's just like the shittiest person, but you're with him, like he's the main character, and you just live his life, and all the like just dumb weird shit that goes on. He's just like living in I want to say they're in England, but I think they go to a different country or something. I don't know. He's just a shitty dude.
Right.
So check that one out.
I'll try to.
What's Naked Lunch about?
Naked Lunch is based off of a book written by William S. Burroughs, which is the guy that wrote The Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is, I mean, good scary movie.
Hell yeah.
But this one, it's like I started. I got like halfway through it, but it's like it says like it's a book that was once thought unfilmable. And it's done by David Cronenberg, which fucking The Fly.
Yeah.
Good fucking. I mean, Cronenberg effects, which are great. And it's about this guy. He's an exterminator, but he's addicted to like the shit that he uses to exterminate bugs, addicted to drugs. So he's like he takes the drugs, and it causes him to hallucinate, and he hallucinates himself into this like other dimension.
Holy shit.
And like
there's lunch.
Yeah, and there's like this guy. Well, it's like there's like these like giant cockroaches that like talk to him, but they don't talk to him through their mouth. It's like they open up their like wings, and there's this like basically like a fleshy anus inside of their back, and that's how they talk. And
Can't
I don't
imagine
know.
that.
And one, it's weird. Imagine like a fleshy butthole
Talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it talks of, and then like the first time he witnesses him is like, your wife is an alien, like don't listen to her, you need to kill her, kind of shit. Wow. And then like they're just chilling, and like you think everything's okay, and then like for some reason like they put like a cup on her head, and he's like, I'm gonna shoot the cup off your head, and he just shoots her right in the skull.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So then he's like, well, it's okay, like she was a secret agent anyway, and then he's like typing his story, and he's like basically typing up this report to the police of the Interzone, which is the other dimension.
Oh, okay. And
it's weird. It's the main star is the guy who plays RoboCop in the old RoboCop movie. And then I don't know. There's like the guy who played Bilbo Baggins was also in it. And they did this weird scene where it's like you could tell they filmed a scene where there was actual dialogue, but then the overlay that they put over it was something completely different. He's like, understand that I can talk to you without actually using my lips, because he's like and so it's like they're having this conversation. Yeah. It's just weird. It's a weird movie.
I really want to see it now.
It's fucking. I'm sure it's a good like trip movie. Like you probably like fucking.
Oh heck yeah.
Take some acid and then it might be a little long. Like I think that might be the issue.
Okay.
Like because there are kind of like a lot of moments where it's just kind of like a lot of sitting around and doing stuff. But like, I can't imagine like if you take acid and then like you're watching this movie and you're watching like the lips move but they don't match up with the mouth.
Yeah, it could freak you out.
Like that's the kind of that's the kind of shit. Or just a bug talking with a fleshy anus in its back, you know.
In general.
And then there was like these two typewriter bugs, and one eats the other. It's like a typewriter and then the cockroach back with the fleshy anus.
Uh-huh.
It's a trip. It's a trip. I love it. But I love Cronenberg. Like in terms of like the standard of effects and shit like that. Love him. It's great stuff.
I'm trying to think of his other films because he sounds familiar.
The Fly. Scanners,
that was it. Because I got that on Criterion.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, just, effects guy, basically.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Scanners. I don't have Scanners. Those are other ones that I really want to get, like, because they do have, like, those really, like, nice big ones. I did just get Che, though.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's a big one. Yeah. But it's basically just a box with two just individual, because it's two different movies. But that's the director of fucking Trainspotting. That's Danny Boyle. I'm fucking retarded. Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11. Who directed Che?
Ocean's 11. Steven Soderbergh, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Something like that. But he's another one of those like does movies to do movies. Like,
I like those movies.
What?
The ones with like, it's not really effects. It's just like.
Oh.
Kind of, I don't know. Really.
Just, I mean, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, exactly. Just things are happening and they're kind of like humanized.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I was just watching Jackie Brown, And I love Jackie Brown again.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I watched it the first time, I just kind of wasn't into it. But, like, the star power that's in Jackie
De
Brown.
Niro that's like his best role ever.
You got Michael Keaton is in that movie.
Yeah, dude.
Like, there's so many people in Jackie Brown. But it makes sense, because that's his third movie?
His third movie, yeah.
That's after Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Like, so he
That's
he made...
That's 3 years after Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, and so he's made 2 phenomenal films, basically, at that time. Like, this is like, what, 97?
Mm-hmm.
Made 2 incredible films.
Mm-hmm.
People love the fuck out of him. And he says,
Yeah.
guess what? I'm going to make another one. So I'm sure all the biggest stars at that time, I mean, Michael Keaton,
Right.
Robert De Niro, fucking, obviously Samuel L. Jackson, all these people, but all these big names are like...
And then he went to Pam Grier, and Pam Grier was like, she was like, you want me to be in this film as the lead? Like, she didn't expect that shit.
Exactly. So, like, that's,
And because he went after, like, older actors, like, his favorite actors, like, the guy that played Max Cherry.
Mm-hmm.
Was, like, his favorite actor or something. So...
But, and like I said, it makes sense. Because at that point, regardless of... Because there's people who don't like Tarantino because he steals stuff from movies.
Or he has shock factor with, like, Kill Bill, cuts his arm off, sprays blood or something.
Well, and that's not even... I think at that point, I think it'd be more like, you see fucking... What's his name getting raped? That big black guy. I don't know his name as an actor, but in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
There's that big black guy being dehumanized in the worst way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going from, like, but yeah, there's a lot of reason why people don't like... And what I've heard more than anything is that he takes things from movies. But, I mean, Kevin Smith does that. Everybody does that.
I know people don't like some of his movies because they're just, like, talking too much or something. That might be
and that is another thing. Yeah, they are just talkies. But when you're a human freak, when you like humans and you like seeing how humans interact, like, that's... Yeah. But yeah, so... Yeah, regardless, at that point, he had made 2, massive movies. I mean, he won for best writing for Pulp Fiction, and that's my favorite. That's everybody's favorite though. But like, I just love that movie, just because I like the nonlinear storytelling.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say that that's the first time. I think technically the first time was Citizen Kane.
Oh, where it was out of order.
Yeah. Well, and it's only kind of Citizen Kane introduced, I guess, the flashback, because it's like you have the opening scene. Rosebud, and then it goes back and you live. You basically like understand how William Randolph Hearst, because that's who it's based off of, the guy that illegalized weed.
Really?
Did you know that?
No.
Because he owned paper companies.
Okay.
And he, hemp was, hemp is such a multifunctional thing, and he was like, well, fuck that shit. We're gonna demonize it.
Wow.
Made Reefer Madness. So that his paper company would succeed.
Excellent.
Yeah, and that's what Citizen Kane is based off of, basically.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So, which, and that's considered the best movie of all time.
I know.
Have you watched it?
I have not seen it.
It's good. I like it. But, I mean, it's considered the best because it's the first movie to incorporate, like, a flashback, flashback ever. Orson Welles in general is like such an amazing filmmaker, because he was just doing things that nobody else was doing at that time.
Right.
Like, I know you've always mentioned that you wish that you were a filmmaker like 50 years ago, basically.
Yeah.
Because the ideas that you have now,
I want to like show them.
Right.
Yeah.
And it would be groundbreaking. And that's basically what Orson Welles was doing way back in the day.
I know that he has one scene where there's like a house and the door's open, and there's people outside the house, and you can see in the house, and you can see a window, and there's like people talking, and the camera's just kind of focused on like the girl playing in the window. And it was like, that was like a groundbreaking like film. Like, we're filming this through all this while this is happening. So that's cool. I was also watching I love when movies, like when you're walking down a hall and you film that like camera, in like a hotel. They get that big ass circle camera in the corner, and you just like film that, and they walk through. Cricket's Cricket. There was a scene where Brock has this mirror on his wall, and I'm going into the kitchen to get drinks, and he's watching me, and in the mirror, which is what we're filming, you can see me doing the entire activity, but we're not filming me doing it,
Right.
I remember we also had like other tricks, but There was this one guy at work who said that he noticed we didn't use any traditional like filmmaking camera angles when filming cricket.
Mm-hmm.
Like no, over the shoulder or anything. It was always like, I don't know if he was complimenting me or anything. I was like, I don't know. We didn't really know what we were doing.
Well, that's kind of how it is. I'm like a strong. I don't think people should go to film school. Like, I know a lot of people who are just like, I'm going to go to film school. I'm going to do this so I can make movies. And I was like, why? Just buy a camera. Use that money that you would spend to go there, buy a camera, and just like fucking film shit. And it's under that basis of just teaching yourself stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you watch a lot of movies, and as long as you mimic the things that they do, like that, there's your film career. Because that's all they do in film school. They make you watch films, and then they make you do that.
They make you watch certain films.
Yeah.
The Citizen Kane films. And they tell you this is how you need to make films.
But they they brainwash you into following this formula.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you don't have that like formula,
you're more free to be creative in other ways.
Look at all the people that never went to film school but are some of the biggest filmmakers of all time. I mean, you're looking at like fucking Tarantino. Wes Anderson, I'm pretty sure he didn't go to film school, right?
I think he did go to film school, or he did something because that's where he met Owen and...
Oh, really?
Owen and Luke Wilson. Some university in Texas.
Well, but then, like...
Maybe it was film school. I don't know.
Like, Kevin Smith went to film school, but he only went to half of it, dropped out, and then decided to go make Clerks.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez, right?
Yeah, I don't even know what he did.
I know there's a book, because he has a book that you can read, and it documents his process of making that for his first film.
El Mariachi?
So, yeah. So, but, like, I don't know. I just think that there's more, like, uniqueness to people who, who don't, like, I don't know. Because when you look at people, like, shitty low-budget films that, like, are made for TV, or just made, not even made for TV, they're just made, and then they were, like, produced through some off-brand company of some sort.
Right.
They're all very formulaic, and you see, like, you can, like, these are all just generic filming things because that's what they're taught. And
that's just a director showing up to make money.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, I don't even know about that. Like, there could be passion in that project, but they're following these guidelines, and I think it's important to break guidelines. Like,
Oh, there are also those movies that are super controlled by, some other studio, like off-brand studio, instead of the director being a filmmaker the way it should be.
Right. I recently went back and I rewatched House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil Rejects.
Mm-hmm.
Devil's Rejects. And when I was watching House of a Thousand Corpses, that shit looks like it was edited by jbostTV. Like, especially like Windows Movie Maker like era jbostTV, because it's like he repeats like the same like bit like over and over again. Like he copied and pasted.
Oh yeah, I remember the weird editing that was in that film.
So like that's and that's just because I can imagine if I would ever make like a full length feature, doing weird choppy things.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know. I think we're gonna end that here. I think that'll be the end if you're okay with that.
Yeah, sounds good.
I mean, you're fucking always welcome on. So if you ever want to sit down and talk again for a couple hours,
hell yeah, man.
It's all good. But I mean, that's fucking it. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching. Hey, guys. Hey, you. Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching. What up, folks? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If don't forget to subscribe on Google and SoundCloud. And if you get an opportunity, if I get the opportunity, if it gets on iTunes, be sure to look for it. And eventually it will be there. I hope you guys enjoyed. And just a reminder that the next episode will be Gator the Legend, the infamous Gator the Legend, folks. So have a good one.